Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. It is hunting season. I'm reading Matthew 28 from verse 18 to 20. And Jesus came and spoke to them, saying, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. When I was a child, my dad had a simple shotgun. There were times that he would clean it and assemble it together because hunting season was drawing near. There was the occasional time that he might have used it for the protection and security of our home, but his gun was mainly for hunting birds. Every summer, the government would announce the beginning of hunting season, and they would also announce the end of the hunting season. This would last for several weeks. Dad was part of a group of friends who they would go bird hunting, and these men would talk excitedly of their plans. They would schedule days when they would get together early mornings and go to some wooded areas and return home with several birds. There were times that they would hunt in late evening as well. I can remember one morning Dad came home with about 13 birds. That was a bumper trip. We would eat those exotic birds mainly for dinner, and he would share them with friends and neighbors. Once the season was over, the gun would be cleaned up and put safely away and the shots locked away. The gun was mainly for hunting birds. That was his hobby. My friend, it's hunting season. It is time for the hunters with their guns to go out and find birds and bring them home for the family to eat. The experts will time it when these rare birds would have had babies and the baby birds would have grown to a certain level of maturity, not too old where the meat would have been hardened, but just right when they can fly around in flocks in the woods. They make for delicious cuisine. The government controlled the season so that the bird population would not be depleted too much, and there was a fine for hunting these protected birds outside of the season. Jesus has declared the time we are living in as hunting season. Jesus' government. That is what the opening line of the text we started off with says. He says all power, all authority is given to him. He is the one who gives you permission to do what is right in the kingdom. He sets the terms and the limits and the means of compensation or rewards. Jesus is the government. The government has spoken, and he says that you, child of God, you who have chosen to be a part of my family, you who believe that I am the Son of God, I am hereby issuing a special order. It is time to go hunting. What does he want you to hunt? Well, in one section of the Bible, he says that there are some sheep which are not yet in the fold, and his plan is to go hunting for those sheep and bring them into the fold. He does not want those sheep to die out there in the big bad world of wolves and other predators. He wants them to be rescued before it is too late. Jesus has created a special program that will involve you and me, who will become part of this greater team of hunters who will be obedient to the order and go hunting for lost sheep. The kind of hunting is different from the one my father used to engage in. This hunting is geared at bringing the lost sheep home alive. In fact, Jesus considers the lost sheep as dead because it is out there away from the fold where there is real life, food, security, peace, and contentment. I'm talking about sheep, okay? Once the sheep is found, it is out of danger, and that hunter, which would be you, would bring the lost sheep to this fold into a new life. But this is where it gets interesting. My dad would be pleased if he caught some birds. Naturally, the more, the merrier. A bad hunting trip would be the rare occasion he would come home with no bird, or just 2 or so. That is because the season promises that there would be scores and scores of birds flying around, and hunters just need to be strategic and plan to catch them. They would never go on a trip in the midday. Birds are not flying around that time. They would go early morning when the birds are flying out in large packs to go searching for food, and the sky is filled with all these birds heading in one direction. Well, you know the next best time is evening, when the birds would be returning home again in large numbers. You are sure to be successful at those times. Jesus says, after you have hunted and found the birds, sheep, bring the live sheep home and patiently train the sheep to a new way of life. That new sheep is introduced to a family of other sheep and gets used to this new crew. The new sheep is introduced to order, time to be fed, time to be led out into the pasture, time to get used to going to sleep in a certain place. After a while, this new sheep gets accustomed to this new life and chooses to stay. This is called making disciples of those you have found. Discipleship is exciting as the shepherd sees the changes in the new sheep and just showers new sheep with love and attention. Will you join the hunt today? Will you become part of that hunting team that Jesus is recruiting? Jesus knows that there are so many lost sheep still waiting for a good, kind hunter to come find them with the gospel of love and of salvation. It is recruiting season, my friend, and so please sign up and join this exciting expedition of winning sheep. If this message has meant anything to you and you have questions, send me an email to friendofclyde@gmail.com.